The long gray day suspended its torrential tirade, acquiescing to evening's first glimmer of stars. None so bright as Hesperus, the first in the west at sunset. Providential guidance in the gloaming, initial nuzzle before the slow embrace of emerging celestial bodies. The night sky shined brilliantly, reflecting off the wet surfaces and pools, creating a garden of seraphic sparkles, an expanse of paradise just for two. Silence lingered between the two as they walked the starlit path arm in arm. The simple caress of a held hand conveyed more than words could articulate. Coyly but tenacious, the man purposed to interlock their fingers, and after a subtle dance of palms, their hands congressed, and she did not protest. They stopped to take in the ineffable beauty engulfing them, the clear, aqueous air, the twinkling stars, the desultory drips, the sounds of night, their gentle, entwined fingers. However wishful, the man determined to assuage this insatiable ogling by averting elsewhere, his gaze returned to her and rested on her. And she felt it. Over the stars, over the beauty of an autumn night, she was the centerpiece, the focal point, all that mattered to him. She wanted to return the gaze, but didn't, staring instead upwards as he released her hand to the preemptive wintry air. He moved in closer, the wrap of his arm around her and the very warmth of his body against hers left her in a dizzying state. It felt more than just a touch from a man who helped rehabilitate her romantic desires, but a curative blanket against what once was a cold and hardening heart. He was the friend she needed and lover she wanted. She wanted. She couldn't say she was in love, or could she? Only one thing was certain. He looked upon her with an innocence and sincerity no man ever looked upon her before. Turning towards him, she placed her head on his chest and they danced softly. They swayed as if they heard the same soft melody floating upon the cool night air. He spun her around and dipped her and brought her back to where he wanted her to be, where she wanted her to be. Then he held her tightly, and she looked into his eyes that shimmered in the night's gleam, and against her fears and inhibitions, her lips found a home against his. It was the feeling of falling, losing control, a passenger on a night flight racing past sound and sight and reason, destination unknown. A dreamlike delusion that the here and now was a dream. Her lips contorted in both a smile and quiver as she softly giggled through a trickle of tears. A jolt ran through her body and out her fingertips. He felt it. His sound embrace tightened, and he kissed her with the passion of sunfire, if not tempered, could devour them both standing.